Hello, everybody. My name is Mitch Dyer. I am Canadian. Luke Carmarley.
Hello, I'm here.
Yes, you are foreign as well.
I am also
no
foreign.
Americans here, but we are in New York City. That's an American city.
It is.
So we're looking at the Division. This is the Xbox Microsoft demo that we saw on stage
From their
this
press
week at
conference,
E3.
right?
Yeah. So this is a pretty astounding demo, but having seen it, looking back on it now as we kind of do this guided commentary over it, what is the most significant thing about this demo that stands out to you?
Well, I mean, the first thing, obviously, to talk about is the fact that we're going to get Premiere content first on Xbox One, right? I mean, is that surprising? Ubisoft tend to partner with Sony for quite a lot of things.
Yeah,
like
I mean, with Watch Dogs, it was Sony. With who was on stage at Microsoft? It was Assassins?
Yes.
Assassins, yes. Far Cry at Sony, Assassins at Microsoft. So
Yeah.
they're branched out a little bit.
Yeah, you know, they're hedging their bets. But yeah, so obviously we saw the UI there of the map, which looked pretty
Yes,
cool.
yeah,
Like,
the
again,
digitized UI, and you're going to see a little bit of it here as they kind of encounter this, they call it echo storytelling. It's based on data retrieved from security cameras, cell phones, any kind of signal that broadcasts it to kind of recreate a moment in time. And that's what you're going to see right here.
there you go.
It's all fancy and pretty. I actually really like this. I think there's a lot of potential here to create, to do some really cool world building.
It does.
Sad stories.
It looks beautiful. Having just gotten Watch Dogs, and I enjoyed Watch Dogs, but I did find the all the branches that were shooting off all the time slightly distracting.
Yeah.
So hopefully this isn't quite so intrusive. But from what we see in this demo, it certainly looks like it enhances rather than detracts, right?
It's also this sleeping on the job thing, pointing down at this dead dude.
Very
this
good.
world is just very dark.
Yeah, just
without ever actually pointing it out. Which tons of corpses here. This is such a bleak game.
it is pretty.
Why can't the apocalypse ever be fun? Although Sunset Overdrive is the thing, I guess.
Yeah, we've got that to look forward to.
So the big thing with Dead Cops 3, that's really sad too. The big thing with the Division is it is an RPG, and this demo gives us a deeper look at that than the first one we ever saw. The first one last year we saw during the debut was more, establishing like, okay, this thing is cool, it's pretty, there's shooty bang bang elements, cool. This is really letting us see the co-op elements and the kind of diversification of skills.
Right. So they said like survival elements before, haven't they, as
Yeah.
well? In terms of you'll have to get them resources and things like that, so and be able to trade them as currency and so on and so forth.
I guess the big thing last year was when they announced it was, hey, this is Massive's MMO. Like they had been hiring for it. We finally saw it, and now it looks less like an MMO and more like a co-op game, right?
Completely. I mean, I'm not quite sure if they're playing they're trying to play the Destiny card, which is, hedge your bets. MMOs have certain connotations.
Right.
If you say, oh, well, it's not quite an MMO, then maybe more people are going to be okay with it. But, Destiny has now come out, and they are much more open about the fact they do have MMO aspect. So we'll see, I guess. But you're right, it doesn't seem quite so. The persistent world shooter was what Destiny used. We haven't heard any similar phrases yet about the Division.
So when you look at this, it's obviously, this demo here is very, very particularly impressive in a lot of ways. But when you look at it, do you feel like this is a game that is actually coming out next year?
I'm not quite sure. I think it probably is coming out next year, but I'm not convinced that it will see it in the first half, if I'm completely honest. I think with all the interlocking stuff they've got to do, we're seeing increasingly, with Drive Club and stuff, games that want to make use of big connectivity features are being delayed, and I wouldn't be surprised if maybe, in actual fact, it's all proven a little bit harder for them than they originally thought.
Yeah. Actually, this is one of my favorite scenes in this whole demo, is this guy goes down and the Megan character drops this drone, or this turret on top of this thing to shoot fire at this dude to distract him, to keep him away while she revives him. It's a cool little bit of tactical cooperation.
Yeah, I mean, it looks absolutely fantastic. It's something that, certainly when it was first announced, it was one of my most anticipated games. I'm sad that it has been delayed, but I think, if this is what the result is, perfectly worth it.
Right, I will happily take a delay over, something that's rushed out and not entirely up to snuff.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of that in the past year, right?
Not achieving the potential that it could have.
Yeah.
Luke Carmarley, thank you so much for joining me. We have so much coverage on The Division, on Ubisoft games, on all video games from E3. So stay tuned for all that and more on IGN.com.